Hello, Kentucky. Todd Golden makes a subtle provocation at Kentucky basketball. Let's go the news. The rivalry between Kentucky and Florida in university basketball is one of the fiercest in the SEC. And this year, she gains new contours after a subtle provocation, albeit veiled, made by Todd Golden, coach of the Gator, newly out for a historical national title for the Florida program. Golden seemed to launch a challenge to Kentucky during his participation in the Inside College Basketball Now program, conducted by John Rothstein. Although their words have been carefully chosen so as not to sound like direct attacks, they carry nuances that have not gone unnoticed by Wildcats fans. The central point of the provocation revolves around Denzel Aberdeen, key piece of the three-time national championship, and now a player transferred to Kentucky. Aberdeen's departure generated controversy among Florida fans, especially since he ended up in the hands of a direct rival at the conference. During the program, Golden tried to extol Aberdeen's qualities while indirectly criticized the current university sports scenario, where free agency has become increasingly common. He mentioned that programs like Kentucky took advantage of this reality to attract talents with financial offers difficult to refuse, clearly referring to Aberdeen's decision to exchange Gainesville for Lexington. But the comment that caught the most attention came to the end of the segment, by stating that Aberdeen will have to return to Odom and be received by our fans. Golden has implicit that the shipowner's return to the old home will not be friendly at all. This phrase, although it can be interpreted as an obvious finding, sounded like a coded message. Florida fans, known for turning O'Connell Center into one of the most intimidating environments of university basketball, will be ready to make Aberdeen feel the weight of his decision, and by extension, perhaps also to measure forces against Kentucky himself. Given this, the inevitable question arises: will the Cats overcome Florida this season? The answer, at least on paper, points to a yes. It is true that the Gators are living a moment of glory after the national title, but Kentucky has a cast built to compete at a high level and face challenges like this. Under Mark Pope's command, Wildcats have shown adaptability and depth, essential characteristics for facing consolidated teams such as Florida. In addition, Denzel Aberdeen's arrival can be seen as a strategic blow to reinforce precisely the recently questioned weaknesses, such as pivot position and decision-making within the Pope system. If Aberdeen is able to quickly integrate into the team and meet expectations, he can become a key piece that leans the balance in favor of Wildcats at decisive times. Of course, the duel promises to be exciting, especially when the two teams face each other in Odom, where the atmosphere will be incandescent. But even with the renewed trust of Gators and the provocations of Golden, it seems that Kentucky will have what is needed to prevail. Wildcats are a program used to dealing with pressure and rivalries, and this season will be no different. Let's see this. And the Wildcats are already preparing for the future. One of the names that recently caught the attention of Mark Pope's team is Benji Brote. According to information released by Kentucky Sports Radio, technical assistant Alvin Brooks III not only followed Brote in person in one of his exhibitions, but also had a significant conversation with the young player's coach. During the dialogue, Brooks made clear the interest of the program in Brote, highlighting his appreciation for the athlete's style of play. This kind of recognition from a renowned coach like Brooks is a revealing sign. Kentucky sees something special about him. Brote, in turn, seems equally impressed by Kentucky's legacy. In its words, the program is very good and has consistently demonstrated its ability to form talents and win victories. This perception is not only a reflection of the recent Wildcats' achievements, but also the development philosophy implemented by Mark Pope. The coach has worked tirelessly to ensure that Kentucky remains an attractive destination for the best prospects in the country, offering a system that maximizes individual potential while promoting collective success. Broad himself has mentioned that he believes to fit well with the style of play proposed by Pope. This statement carries a considerable weight, especially when it comes to a player who has not even been officially classified by 247 Sports in the 2028 class. Although the rankings have not yet been released, it is speculated that Brouet could appear among the 100 best players in his class as soon as the numbers are published. Although the projections are preliminary, the fact that Kentucky is monitoring his progress so closely suggests that he is already being seen as a high-level prospect. Kentucky's recruitment strategy has always been marked by its surgical accuracy. Identifying emerging talents before they gain national notoriety is a skill that the program has improved over the years. Cameron Miller, another name that has already aroused the interest of Wildcats, is an example of this approach. Now, with Broad entering the radar, it is evident that the coaching staff is building a wide and diverse network to ensure that the next generation of Wildcats is up to expectations. It is important to emphasize that looking at 2028 may seem premature. But in the world of university recruitment, anticipation is everything. Players like Broad are at the beginning of their competitive journeys, but the connections established today may influence crucial decisions in the future. For a program like Kentucky, which competes on a highly selective level, being in front of the curve is essential. Meanwhile, fans and analysts begin to speculate on the impact that Screaming could have if he chooses to wear the blue and white of Wildcats. Its versatility and technical skills already draw attention, and its adaptation to the Pope system would be a crucial point. In addition, the presence of other high-caliber prospects in the same recruitment class could create a cohesive and talented group capable of taking Kentucky back to the largest stages of university basketball. For now, Brouet is just a name in a vast ocean of possibilities. Would it be a good addition? The university football season is about to gain a new chapter for Kentucky, which enters the field with a collective mindset and audacious plan to make their defensive cast as much as possible. While Toledo awaits as the first challenge on the calendar, Wildcats seem ready to embrace a renewed concept. The depth of the team is no longer a luxury, but a strategic need. Brad White, the defensive coordinator of the Wildcats, has made clear the intention of having as many players as possible during the matches. This approach marks a significant change from previous years, when Kentucky often depended on a reduced core of athletes, many of them accumulating considerable snaps and overloading their functions within the tactical scheme. Now the idea is distribute responsibility in a balanced way, ensuring that everyone has a defined role and that no one is forced to carry the team's weight on the back for a long time. With 42 scholarships dedicated to defense and reinforcements coming from both the base categories and the transfer market, Kentucky has an impressive arsenal of options. 10 high school prospects arrived at the 2025 recruitment cycle, while 8 transfers came to add experience and talent to the established group. This mix brings to the cast an interesting combination of youth and maturity, allowing White and its coaching staff to shape a system where internal competition is healthy and productive. However, not everything will be delivered by Trey. The expectation about each player remains high, regardless of whether he is a veteran or novice. Everyone will have to divide the load, said White, noting that crucial moments will require different defense sectors to assume individual responsibilities to ensure collective success. Whether in the secondary, known for its veteraness and leadership capacity, or in the defensive line, whose clashman can change the course of a match, the commitment to the standard of excellence needs to be universal. White's speech reflects a quiet confidence, but also a dose of realism. He knows that there are still questions to be answered, especially with so many new faces integrating the squad. The first game against Toledo will therefore be an initial laboratory. It will be there that it will be clear who is ready to meet expectations and how the group will behave under real pressure. For this, the caster strategy planned by the coaching staff will play a crucial role, as it will allow us to evaluate various combinations without compromising the overall performance of the team. Another point to stand out is the posture adopted by the players themselves. The secondary, in particular, was placed under the eyes since the beginning of the fall training, with White asking them to take responsibility to lead by example. They accepted the challenge of good grad being willing to face any opponent in direct duels when necessary. This sense of commitment infects the rest of the defensive unity, creating an environment where everyone feels motivated to give their best. Kentucky seems to be building something bigger than just a solid defense for this season. By betting on self, by betting on numbers and variety, Mark Stoops and his team are paving the way to a more sustainable future. The idea of continually developing the cast, integrating new talents, and making the most of each player's potential is an intelligent bet in the long run. This not only relieves pressure on veterans, but also prepares freshmen and transfers to become key pieces in the coming years. Against Toledo, Kroger Field will be the scene of this new defensive era of the Wildcats. With a team that promises to be versatile, resilient, and cohesive, Kentucky enters the field with the certainty that his strength is in the union of many, not dependent on the few. Leave your opinion